Caitlin Clark is a force of nature. She's a basketball prodigy. She's electrifying to watch. Her skills on the court are unparalleled, and her ability to read the game is beyond her years. Every time she steps onto the court, she brings an energy that is contagious, captivating fans and critics alike. The Iowa superstar has taken the sports world by storm. Her performances have been nothing short of spectacular, earning her accolades and admiration from all corners of the basketball community. She's not just a player, she's a phenomenon, a beacon of hope for aspiring athletes everywhere. But instead of celebrating her success, the WNBA seems determined to tear her down. The league's response to her achievements has been baffling, to say the least. Instead of embracing her as the future of women's basketball, they've chosen to undermine her at every turn. Clark's recent decision to sign a lucrative contract in Europe has sent shockwaves through the league. This move, while surprising to some, is a testament to her ambition and desire to compete at the highest level. It's a bold statement that she won't be confined by the limitations of the WNBA. It's exposed a deep well of resentment and dysfunction within the league. The WNBA's inability to retain top talent like Clark is a glaring issue that needs addressing. Instead of introspection, the league has chosen to lash out, revealing cracks in its foundation. Some players like Angel Reese and Brittany Griner have even cried racism. But where's the proof? These allegations, while serious, seem to lack substantial evidence. It's a complex issue that requires more than just surface-level accusations. It's a classic case of playing the race card when the facts don't add up. The narrative being pushed is one of division, rather than unity. It's a distraction from the real issues plaguing the league. The WNBA had its chance to sign Clark, they fumbled it. This missed opportunity is a reflection of the league's broader struggles. They failed to recognize and capitalize on her potential, and now they're paying the price. Now they're lashing out like spoiled children. The league's response has been immature and counterproductive. Instead of addressing their shortcomings, they're pointing fingers and deflecting blame. It's not a good look. The WNBA's actions are damaging its reputation and alienating its fanbase. This behavior is unbecoming of a professional sports league. This isn't just about Caitlin Clark. It's about the broader issues within the WNBA. The league's inability to nurture and promote its own talent is a systemic problem that needs to be addressed. This is about the WNBA's inability to nurture and promote its own talent. The league has failed to create an environment where players can thrive and reach their full potential. This failure is not just a disservice to the players, but to the fans and the sport as a whole. It's about a league teetering on the brink of irrelevance, too busy pointing fingers to see its own reflection in the mirror. The WNBA needs to take a hard look at itself and make the necessary changes to ensure its survival and growth. Only then can it hope to regain the trust and support of its players and fans. Let's be clear, racism is a serious issue. It affects countless lives and has been a blight on society for centuries. It shouldn't be weaponized for personal gain or to deflect criticism. When accusations of racism are made without evidence, it undermines the real struggles faced by those who experience it daily. Yet, that's exactly what's happening in the WNBA. The league, which has been a platform for many to voice their concerns, is now being used as a battleground for baseless claims. Angel Reese, fresh off her NCAA championship win, has been particularly vocal. Her achievements on the court are commendable, but her recent statements have sparked controversy. She's hinted that race played a role in Clark's decision to play overseas. Such claims, without concrete evidence, can be damaging and misleading, but she's offered no evidence. In a world where misinformation spreads like wildfire, it's crucial to back up such serious allegations with facts. It's cheap, it's divisive, and it's frankly beneath her. These statements not only harm the individuals involved, but also the integrity of the sport. Brittany Griner, who knows a thing or two about being mistreated, has also chimed in. Her experiences are valid, and her voice is important in the conversation about race and equality. She's suggested that the WNBA isn't doing enough to support its black athletes. Again, where's the proof? The league has made significant efforts to promote diversity and inclusion. The WNBA has bent over backwards to accommodate Griner. From providing platforms for advocacy to ensuring player safety, the league's commitment is evident. They negotiated her release from a Russian prison. This monumental effort showcased the league's dedication to its players. They gave her a platform to share her story. Her journey and the support she received highlight the league's proactive stance. To suggest that the league is somehow racist is not only absurd, but deeply insulting to those who've genuinely suffered from discrimination. It's essential to differentiate between real issues and unfounded claims to maintain the integrity of the fight against racism. The WNBA had a golden opportunity with Caitlin Clark. They could have built a dynasty around her. They could have made her the face of the league. Instead, they offered her a lukewarm contract and a one-way ticket to obscurity. Let's not forget what happened during the playoffs. Clark was playing with a debilitating injury. Did the WNBA offer her support? Did they prioritize her health? No. They threw her to the wolves and expected her to perform miracles. This is a pattern with the WNBA. They chew up young talent and spit them out. They're more interested in pushing a social agenda than they are in winning games or promoting their star players. It's no wonder that someone like Caitlin Clark would look elsewhere for opportunities. The buck stops at the top. Leadership is not just about holding a title, it's about taking responsibility and steering the ship, especially in turbulent waters. WNBA Commissioner Kathy Engelbert and NBA Commissioner Adam Silver have failed miserably in their leadership. Their inability to address the core issues has left the leagues in disarray. They've allowed the league to descend into chaos with no clear direction or strategy to bring it back on course. Engelbert in particular seems more interested in virtue signaling than in addressing the real problems plaguing the WNBA. Her focus on public image overshadows the urgent need for effective management. She's quick to jump on the social justice bandwagon, making grand gestures that garner media attention, but when it comes to supporting her players or growing the game, she's been MIA. The players and fans are left feeling abandoned and disillusioned. Silver, meanwhile, has treated the WNBA like an afterthought. His priorities lie elsewhere, and it shows in the league's stagnation. He's content to let it flounder while he focuses on the NBA's bottom line. The disparity in attention and resources is glaring. His lack of investment and vision is appalling. Fans and players alike are losing faith in the leadership. These two are supposed to be the adults in the room, the ones who guide and inspire. Instead, they're fiddling while Rome burns. Their inaction and mismanagement are leading to the league's downfall. It's time for them to step aside and let someone with a real plan take over. The leagues need fresh leadership, someone who can bring a new vision and a renewed sense of purpose. Section 5. The Me Too League playing the victim card. The WNBA has become the Me Too League. Everything is about victimhood. Everything is someone else's fault. There's no accountability, no responsibility, and certainly no winning attitude. Instead of focusing on improving their game, players are too busy complaining about pay disparities, lack of media coverage, and perceived slights. They've adopted a siege mentality that's both tiresome and counterproductive. Newsflash, ladies, nobody owes you a damn thing. You want respect, earn it. You want higher salaries, draw bigger crowds. You want more media attention, win championships. It's really that simple. Section 6. Building a fan base beyond gimmicks and giveaways. The WNBA has a serious marketing problem. They've tried everything to attract fans, free tickets, celebrity endorsements, even dancing mascots. But none of it has worked. The reason is simple. People want to see great basketball. They want to be entertained. They don't want to be lectured to about social justice or forced to watch subpar play. The WNBA needs to stop with the gimmicks and start focusing on the fundamentals. They need to promote their star players. They need to improve the quality of play. They need to create a product that people are actually willing to pay for. Section 7. The WNBA's double standard ignoring true talent. The WNBA loves to talk about diversity and inclusion, but what they really mean is conformity. They want players who fit their narrow mold, players who are willing to toe the line and not rock the boat. Caitlin Clark doesn't fit that mold. She's a once-in-a-generation talent, a true original. She's not afraid to speak her mind or to go against the grain, and that makes her a threat to the WNBA's carefully constructed narrative. Instead of embracing her individuality, the WNBA has tried to silence her. They've punished her for her honesty, and they've driven her into the arms of a league that actually appreciates her talent. Section 8. The price of silence. When athletes fear to speak. The WNBA has created a culture of fear and intimidation. Players are afraid to speak out against the league's hypocrisy. They're afraid to criticize their coaches or their teammates. They're afraid to be themselves. This is not how a healthy league operates. Athletes should feel empowered to use their platforms to speak truth to power. They should feel supported, not silenced. The WNBA needs to take a long, hard look in the mirror. They've created a toxic environment where dissent is punished and conformity is rewarded. It's time for a change. Section 9. A league divided, bridging the racial fault lines. The WNBA is a league divided. There's a clear racial divide both on and off the court. Black players feel marginalized and disrespected. White players feel like they're walking on eggshells. This division is being exploited by opportunists like Angel Reese, who are more interested in sowing discord than in finding common ground. It's time for the WNBA to address this issue head-on. They need to create a more inclusive environment where all players feel valued and respected. They need to have honest conversations about race and racism, and they need to stop using identity politics as a weapon. Section 10. From college star to European sellout, Caitlyn's choice. Caitlin Clark's decision to play in Europe isn't just a slap in the face to the WNBA, it's a symptom of a much larger problem. It's a sign that the league is no longer the premier destination for the world's best female basketball players. European leagues are offering better pay, better competition, and better treatment. They're investing in their players and in the future of women's basketball. The WNBA, meanwhile, is stuck in the past. Caitlin Clark is a smart young woman, she knows her worth, and she's not going to settle for anything less than she deserves. The WNBA's loss is Europe's gain. Section 11. Rebuilding trust, a long road ahead for the WNBA. The WNBA has a long road ahead of it. They've lost the trust of their players, their fans, and the media. They've become a laughingstock, a cautionary tale of what happens when you prioritize politics over performance. If the WNBA wants to survive, they need to make some drastic changes. They need new leadership, a new vision, and a new commitment to excellence. They need to stop making excuses and start taking responsibility. The clock is ticking. The WNBA is on the brink of irrelevance. They need to act now, or they risk fading away entirely.